Okay, boys, just wanted to go through our field-specific plays for the weekend, just to get everyone on the same page. You got some new guys coming in late, and I just kind of want to get everyone so they're doing the same thing. So first thing I'm going to address the short line out. It can happen probably almost anywhere on the field in the offensive attacking zone. When we go with the short line out, we have a play called posts. Okay, it's fairly straightforward. We're going to move and have a forward group sitting out here in the backs. They're going to attack midfield here off of 10. So as the ball gets back to the 9, obviously, goes to the 10, and then we're going to have a 10 passing here to that forward pack, hopefully to kind of put those big forwards against some midfielders and suck in those midfielders. What we're going to do, that second phase off of that, is we're going to try and move just a quick hands ball and slide to that kind of position. The way we're going to do that is we're just going to, after the ball gets here, into that forward group, we're going to move to just the 10 is going to slide across, the 12 is going to slide across, and then this is going to be just a really quick, let's just try and expose numbers here by having that back group attacking on the kind of far side. So second phase off post is going to be a quick hands ball, and maybe even could be even a missed pass from the 10, depending on kind of what they see here. But we're going to just kind of slide those backs really quickly. Hopefully we've got a few midfielders kind of sucked in this area here, and we can expose space on the outside. Okay, so that's our short line out. Moving to our full line out. If I just go to a full field view here for a second, we got a few options here. Looking at the full field scenario, we can do a driving maul. I'm not going to talk about the specifics of that right now, but then that's where we also, if we do decide to go off the top, what we're going to do here, if we go off the top, is we're going to run that springbok play where we have a little more space to do that. And that was that play where we had 13 and from 10 to 12, and then a looping kind of 10 in here. The preset for that that I didn't set up here originally was we have both that blind wing and the 15 there ready to kind of take off as well on kind of vertical lines as they let that kind of materialize there, and that's how that's going to look. So springbok is what we're going to run off the top on lineouts. Just one of our back plays that I don't want to go over in too much detail right now. Okay, so we're going to continue with talking about our center scrum play that we're going to be running over the weekend. Just your typical 8, 9, 15 play. So fairly straightforward. We'll get the backs positioned over to this side over here, and then our backs always need to be to the left, and then it's going to be fairly straightforward. We're going to have our 8-man is going to pick, try and take on the 9, looping on the outside, and then our 15 running that bit of a kind of S pattern. Obviously wouldn't quite look like that, and then our winger running out here. Obviously the kind of goal of this play is to trap that kind of opposing 9 on the back side of the scrum and give us a single man advantage over here. So we're just going to call that play guns, and so everyone's kind of on page with that. If we start seeing some kind of different stuff with their back 3, or they do some weird split stuff, and we notice that their back 3 are out of position here, we're just going to use our kick play, which we're just going to call Wally. It's going to be a read for 10, and in this scenario we'd go to the strong side. Maybe we'd ran guns earlier in the day or in the game, and we notice their back 3 is adjusted poorly here, or they've done some funny things with the backs there, and we think the kick is on. Our kick plays is called Wally, and we just basically have 3 channels to allude to. We just go from left to right, and so we kind of have an A channel, B channel, and a C channel. And so in this case, we'd probably have a kick from 10 to the A channel. Like I said, if we run guns earlier and we see a weird adjustment of their back 3, this is kind of the play action off of that, is opening up that kick, and then we would have both of our 12 and 13 chasing down here, and probably the winger as well. So that's Wally. With Wally, we can also run that just from a regular kind of scrum scenario. Anytime we notice that the back three does anything funny, they get up in a weird position or whatever, and we think the kick option is on, Wally can be kind of called anytime as well with the hand signal that we've kind of talked about. But then again, A, B, and C, in this case, probably be more likely to have a kick to that kind of C channel there off of 10. And then we'd have, obviously, these guys up a little bit flatter and running there. We did chat a little bit about if we do run that Wally play, we'll probably have in the 13 and the winger kind of following down, chasing that kick. We can also have that 12 kind of sweep in behind in case the kick is poor, or in case we need to, we can't make a catch and we have a tap back or something. Okay, so that's kind of our center scrum, and our kind of kick call is Wally. Moving on, other things that I kind of wanted to cover. We do have kind of a pod set and how we're going to run out of pods. If I just go kind of back here to a typical penalty situation where we don't want to kick for touch, where we are going to kick for touch whenever that makes sense for us to kick for touch. But at the same time, we're going to have scenarios where we are going to want to run some pods. We kind of have a big little pod is the way we're going to form that, and so we'll have our bigger boys maybe in one pod here, and then a smaller pod here, and that's just probably based on kind of body weight. If we do decide to go to the big pod, the second phase out of that, actually it doesn't matter which pod we decide to go to. What we're going to do is try and run our 4-ball. If you kind of review our 1, 2, 3, 4, our basic offensive system, we're going to try and run our 4-ball immediately after this. And so if we give that ball off here to that first pod, and they kind of clear out that ruck, then we'd be in this scenario, a kind of perfect scenario for us to run that, what we've been calling our 4-ball, which is our forwards running a blocker, and then that ball going in behind to the backs. Okay, so second phase off any pod, I want to see that second pod of forwards running that 4-ball. It's just a natural kind of time for that. Okay, besides that, just kind of one other thing I want to kind of take care of while we have kind of the opportunity here. We want to talk a little bit about our kind of Slamball. And so our Slamball is anytime our forwards are in what we would call our in position, could be ready to run a 1, and our Slamball is just going to be, our 9 has a chance now to attack, and so our 9 is going to attack into this position here, and then our forwards are just going to be running almost like a switch line or an inside line right here. And so the purpose of this is hopefully we can kind of pull these guys out with that 9 running, create a bit of a gap in here that we can try and expose through that. So it would basically look like this. We're in that kind of position here, and then our 9 would dart across to here, and then we'd attack back inside. So it's a little bit of a switch line by that set of forwards there. Like I said, hopefully we're trying to pull these. Maybe they have a weak post, and that's where 9 would make that slam call. It's just another override that 9 can do a few times a game. Don't want them to get too pick happy with my 9, but that's something there. Next thing that I kind of want to talk about, and probably our last thing, if I go back to our full field view again, is that if we do have a 22 drop, our objective in 22 drop is going to be, we are just going to get everyone set, just like a regular kickoff. Our forwards set to one side, you can see over here, and then we are going to try on a 22 drop to find a kicking lane and just drive that ball deep on the forward side of the field. We're just going to think of that as let's play rugby at their end of the field, and so that's what we're going to do on those. I think that's enough for field-specific stuff. We have a few other things I'm sure we went over, but that should get any of the boys that maybe missed some of that training or just want to review that training back on side. So that's good enough for this video.